I've never made a video like this, but I absolutely have to. It's about a young woman named Hannah Kobayashi, 30 years old, who has disappeared, and the family is fearing that she has been trafficked. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because she appears to be a spiritualist. Any spiritualist, tarot fan, tarot reader, Reiki healer, whatever. If you're in the community, I need you to share this video or any information about Hannah, even if it's just her missing persons flyer, in your different spiritual communities, and I'm going to tell you why. Hannah flew out of Maui on November the 8th and was expected to make a connecting flight in LA to finish her trip to JFK. She was supposed to meet her aunt in New York and spend a week there. We have the itinerary, and I'm going to use that to help make my point in why I need the spiritual community right now to mobilize very quickly. Hannah began communicating with her family via text message and also paying for, it could have been a tarot reading from some guy on TikTok. I don't think it's necessary to post the Venmo information or his TikTok. I don't think that he is related, but I do think it's a sign of what's been going on with Hannah. Hannah sent a number of cryptic and eerie text messages to her family. The first one stated that she was scared and she felt like somebody was basically following her and taking her identity. She told a friend that she got hacked. The friend asked, hacked by who? And Hannah said, stripped of my identity. I can't fly. Wait, what? How did you get to LA from Maui? And then Hannah says, some weird S, babe. And then the friend asks her to explain so she could try to help. And then Hannah says, I got tricked pretty much into giving away all of my funds for someone I thought I loved. I've been on the streets. Goes on to say that she can't go into more detail. She asked the friend to please be discreet. And that this is bigger than her. This is like the Matrix and the world. It goes way beyond her is what she's saying. So right there, that little snippet that this is about the world, Matrix and the world, it's bigger than her. This is very, very typical type of language that we hear in the spiritual community, especially if somebody who probably was listening to a lot of tarot readings or channelings or just spiritual people talking a lot of stuff, okay? Furthermore, this all occurred around 11/11. I went to Hannah's Instagram page. Hannah follows a lot of twin flame type of pages, a lot of tarot readers. She and I have a lot of similar pages that we follow. It's not a surprise to me that she's talking about the Matrix or that all of this is happening around 11/11. A part of my ask for anyone in the spiritual community to get this out is because I feel like there's been some sort of infiltration into these online communities. And I don't know that a spiritualist is actually the person who abducted her or convinced her to leave her family and mislead them. If that's the case. I think that this is some person and or group who infiltrated an online community. So please share this video. There's a lot of cryptic things that are going on her very last Instagram post on 11/11, okay? The song she chose is Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. It's about a guy who died in LA, got shot in LA, apparently, supposedly. And then there's a whole conspiracy theory around his death as well. It was taken at a LeBron James event at the Nike store in the Grove in LA. The Grove is a shopping center in LA. She attended that event, but she also attended the Christina Ricci tarot signing. Like, who knew that Christina Ricci was making tarot cards? Like, she was there, and I believe it was at that event that the family has confirmation that she completed a mailing list. Her phone last pinged, I believe it was at LAX on 11/11. Apparently, there's surveillance footage of her retrieving her bag on 11/12 at LAX. So basically what happened is she missed the flight, the connection flight. The bag was checked from in Maui, and because she was taking a connecting flight, her bag was routed directly to New York. So she had to wait for the bag to get to New York and then get sent back to LA. So apparently she was picking up her bag. According to some other research that people have done online and I've seen a couple of videos about this. Shout out to Grizzly True Crime. But she had this kind of fascination with the Redwoods, which is about 9 hours away from LA, 10 hours depending on time of day traffic, right? She also talked a lot about us having a spiritual awakening in a series of text messages here. I'll show you it. Hold on, where is it? Here. Hi, loves. And her family's like, she doesn't talk like this. She doesn't say hi, loves. But do you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like one of those creepy ass comments, the scamming comments on YouTube. Hi, loves. I just finished a very intense spiritual awakening. I'm charging my phone and heading back to the airport to get to New York City. I might need some help getting there. It's a long story. I'll keep you posted. I think I still have my hotel room. So she sent a lot of texts, one to her aunt, several to her aunt, stating it's very confusing that she thinks she can get back to New York, but she's not sure. And if she's there, she wants, her aunt to meet her, but she understands if she can't. So here's the thing. The family said it doesn't make sense to them that she's talking about the Matrix, that's very cryptic. I understand their perspective, but I also understand that Hannah may not have been telling them everything. Oftentimes, when we're going through this sort of awakening spiritually, it's hard to discuss this with the people in our lives, mostly our family. So oftentimes, a lot of these people, when they're going through this sort of change and healing process, they'll be very vulnerable and extremely open with people on the internet. If you happen to speak with her via online in a different group, in a comment thread or something like that, and you have any at all information, contact one of the numbers on the screen, and especially the police and the RAD movement. Contact them, just let them know what you think it might be. If it turns out to be nothing, then that's fine. But if you really think that this is a person that you know, or that you saw some communication back and forth with some creep, if you did a reading for her, or somebody relating to her, if somebody was talking about her in a reading, call the cops. Now, call the RAD movement now. Kinds of things I would ask you would be, what did she ask you? What were her concerns? What was her state of mind at the time? Was she fearful of anything? Was she contemplating joining some sort of group or marrying somebody? What's going on here? So, these are the things that I think would be helpful and beneficial to law enforcement if you have it. Now, further, we have her itinerary for New York City. Now, again, the only 2 free days that she had here was 11/11 and 11/12. Now, on 11/11 with a little heart, now 11/11 is Twin Flame Day, right? We all know that in the spiritual community. I'm not sure that the average person in the matrix of the world could look at this and say, oh, okay, spend time with Auntie, Giordana, I guess, open flow base of our vibes. So meaning anything can, let's just go with the flow with a little heart, but that's a little strange. Was she really just going to be with her aunt? I don't know. She was St. Anne's Church. She was thinking about going to a folk festival there on the 9th. I would have chosen Jeff Mills, the Wizard. I love Jeff Mills. Hannah, when you get home, let's go to Jeff Mills together. I'll fly to you, whatever. Let's do it. I love Jeff Mills. We'll go listen to the bells over and over and over again when you get home. Here's the thing. I'm going to post another video later. I just needed to get something together and get it out. I want to go deeper into a more specific timeline later. Maybe there's one thing I want to share. So I had some channeled messages that came up for me last night about her, and the situation. Now, I want to make it very, very clear that I do not think it's appropriate to do public tarot card readings or channelings about a missing person's case. Do what you want. You have your own free will. But I would strongly encourage you to think twice about what you're doing. If you're going to start pulling cards on a missing person, who are you actually serving with that? Okay? And that's it. I'm not going to share channelings online unless the family asks me to read or channel for them and then ask me to put it out in public. I won't do it. Okay? So, one was an image like this, like somebody holding their ear, but also kind of crouched down like this. So I don't know if there's something going on with the ear, or if perhaps there's something that would be like covering the side of the face. I don't know if it's left or right ear. It could be that there might be an injury to the ear. Could be that she's not hearing. It could be like the family has said, do not approach her if you see her. So don't do that. Just call the numbers that I have had on this video the entire time. Finally, the FBI is involved. Finally, the police seem to be taking it more seriously. They were not in the beginning. The family was incredibly frustrated. Call the numbers, and don't leave her, but don't let her know that you've spotted her. She most likely, if she was trafficked, she's probably in a neighborhood that's not well-to-do. That's likely dangerous, and she's probably being held in a motel or something. That's typically what these guys do when they do this sort of thing, and women. The other thing that came up in my channeled messages last night was, and I'm not saying that the abductor is this person. This could be a message for someone specifically who might have information, or the person who may actually find her. I don't know. But it's a very broad-faced, kind of stocky gentleman, African American or Hispanic, but there's something associated with the color red. Like bandana. It wasn't a hat. There's like a bandana. Red. Okay. Now I don't know who that is, but the image came after, I believe it was Hannah with the ear like this, but it was one side. So that's all I can get without express permission from the family, and I will not read on it publicly. That's the only information I'm willing to give intuitively publicly as well. I do not believe that we should be doing tarot card readings and energy readings on missing persons cases, especially without the family's permission, and more especially not publicly, because not everything is for public consumption. I think that whatever came up for me was intended for the video, and that's what I'm going to do. I urge all of you, any of you who see this, if you're into spirituality, just share the video, please, in your community. Again, subscribe. I'm going to go through the timeline more deeply. There's a lot more information, but basically she was last seen at the Pico Street station in LA. And this was, I believe, on the 12th, perhaps. It's speculative. We're not quite sure. Her phone last pinged at LAX, I believe, on the 11th. The last post to her internet, to her Instagram, social media was on 11/11. Again, I think that's intentional. We are dealing with somebody who follows a lot of twin flame pages. Somebody who's talking about the matrix and the world and how it's bigger than her. So if Hannah intentionally left, then I would just ask you, Hannah, just let them know that you did that. If this is your choice. If not, I want everybody to share this. any creepy ass comments that you may have seen engaging with her, somebody who you think is her. If you see her, if you're in California, I'm hearing Salt Lake and I'm also hearing Texas. The guy who she bought a reading from lives in Texas. So I just heard Salt Lake. So I don't know if there's something that has to do with Nevada or Utah connected with this now. I'm going to stop channeling. But just because she was last seen in California doesn't mean that's where she is, okay? Any information? Call the phone numbers. You can leave things in the comments, and I do have access to a space where I can get a message to the family, but the message is to go to the police, to the FBI, and also to the RAD movement, who is working very closely with the family and with the police as part of this investigation to find Hannah as quickly as possible. The more time that passes, the more dangerous it is for her. And now it's already been 2 weeks. All right. Hit subscribe. I'm going to come back full timeline and any updates if we have them. All right. God bless.